GALAXIAS Chapter 14 is out, and we are in for another really short chapter this time. Now, I do hope once more that this doesn't have any signs of the author having health problems like last few times we have had short chapters, but this could also mean we go on a 1 week break. I have no clue. All I know is that the magazine in and of itself that GALAXIAS is in is due for 2 more breaks during the month of December, so we'll have to wait and see. But this was a short chapter, got some funny moments, and got more set up for diving more into the world of GALAXIAS that makes me even more interested to see this world fully developed and fully explored. But before we jump into things, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos and shows you want to see more. And I have this goal of making it to 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm almost at 25k at the point of me recording this video, so we are still really close to reaching that goal, and I really hope we can make that milestone before 2025. Now with that out of the way, let's jump right into this chapter. So chapter 14 of GALAXIAS, titled Setting Out and Onward, as Geo and neraid are given a map to head to the nearest town, which they'll reach within 3 days. And it's shown that they actually stay in the town for a few days to help get everyone back on their feet before going off to their next destination. They talk about how the town they're going to has a railway, and that it'll be actually pretty fun to actually ride one, and since it's going to be a big city, maybe you can find info on Yuri Holst. But going for 3 days is going to be kind of tough. But Geo was trying to lighten the mood, saying that's plenty of time to get excited. But then her mood shifts as she instantly says, "More importantly, why is this guy here?" As she shockingly points to Schmidt, who is just saying, "Hello, I've been thinking since then, and I just really want to go with you guys," as he just pops up behind them and is just going to join them on their journey. Now, I called that they were going to have Schmidt along as a companion for a good chunk of the story, perhaps for ulterior motives of his own. All I want to say is that this did not last more than a chapter, and honestly, I think it's all the better for it. Drying it out for too long could have been a detriment. Then again, it was too quick for some people, but I do think it was pretty good, and I also think Geo's reaction to it is also really funny, so all is forgiven. Now, neraid says things should be fine, with Geo disagreeing, but neraid says, "This guy wants to research my power. That ain't too different than the goal of my journey anyway. I think he'll come in handy." Which, yeah, fair enough, I guess. He is a scientist, he's a researcher, maybe he can help discover more about neraid, and he seems to have somewhat of an idea about neraid. So I guess win-win. The guy does have ulterior motives, so I'm curious to see what Schmidt is really going to be getting at here. And neraid kind of pokes at Geo's adventurous spirit, saying, "Come on, plus you know the feeling of having your curiosity denied. You know what that's like, right?" So he's kind of poking at the fact that she has that adventurous spirit wanting to look into things that get her curious. So yeah. Geo says, "Suit yourself. I haven't accepted him as a comrade though. I won't try to help you, and if anything happens, I'll leave you behind." Schmidt says, "The way ahead is a bit complicated. Shall I give directions?" And Geo, not turning around, says, "Look, I don't need your help. Don't waste your breath trying to win me over. I have the map that Reno gave us after all. There's no need for you." And then Geo looks at the map, and it's the simplest thing of just one line going across the terrain to their goal with barely any detail whatsoever. And after looking at a map that a child could draw, Geo instantly turns around and welcomes her brand new comrade. Yeah, honestly, back-to-back really good comedy moments from Geo. She is probably one of the best pieces of comedic relief, alongside with being the only straight man in her group so far. Having Schmidt along is going to add a bit more of chaos to this. But we then cut to 3 days later, as they finally reached at the town they were going towards, into the train station, and they see their first locomotive. Now, this is honestly something that we really got some inklings for in this arc, that we were actually going to see real technology, and we were told that there was a railway back during the first few chapters of the series, in the first mini arc that we had. So it's nice to actually see one of the trains that we actually get to see, and we see a bit more of the technological advancement of this world. So yeah, more and more stuff is being given to us. Now, Geo and neraid are really looking at the train and being incredibly impressed as they go and buy their tickets. And now they're wondering where they're going to go next. Schmidt actually recommends that they head to the town Grib that's north of here. And first, they'll circumvent the mountain range in this train and enter the Scorpio region. Now this is our first real big, wider scale of world building, as the kingdom, the Laniakia kingdom that they are in, is split up into 12 very large regions. And that right now they're in the Sagittarius region. And the town Schmidt recommends them to go to, Grib, is where Yuri Holst used to live. So that is already a huge lead on more clues to Yuri Holst. And that it'll be the perfect place to gather info on the guy. Now, honestly, I gotta say this. It's really awesome that we're finally getting a good look at this world. We got a bit of the map earlier on in this series, but now we know for sure that it's literally cut up into 12 distinct sections, and based off of the fact that we heard Scorpio and Sagittarius, each region is going to be named after the 12 zodiacs. So that's a really, really cool thing. And we also know that the Royal Zodiac are literally the strongest dragon knights in the entire region. Or in the entire country, the entire kingdom. So having sections being cut off by the zodiac signs themselves is a really cool thing. And for all we know, each of the Royal Zodiac could just be fully in charge of that region alone, outside of the baseline Dragon Knights for towns and stuff like that. So that is really, really cool, and I cannot wait to explore this even further. Now they end up asking Schmidt the question, I mean, you kind of know a bit about Yuri Holst. Are you sure you're not a subordinate? But Schmidt just says that's just how famous the guy is. You two should probably understand just what it means to be involved with Yuri Holst in this kingdom, as we see a wanted poster of Yuri Holst with a bunch of knives stabbed through it. And yeah, bit of ominous foreshadowing to this. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they run into the wrong person with this upcoming arc and they have to, instead of just full on fight, they have to run and survive. That would be really cool. And then Geo realizes that the train is departing soon. And so they have to get on this train, otherwise the next one isn't until tomorrow. So she tries to make it through the crowd of people in order to get into this train. But at the rate of the crowd, they won't make it to their train. Neraid suggests busting his way through, but Geo says, look, we are not planning to destroy the station, okay? But Schmidt has an idea. If asking them isn't working, then we just need to make them want to help. As we then cut to Geo dressed as a farm village girl, as she is acting like she's collapsed on the ground and is asking people for help in order to make it on the train because her mother is sick, playing on sympathy points. Schmidt says, in situations like this, you win by making them feel sorry for you. Women and children are even more convenient, and Geo is a woman and she is younger, so a sob story could get some people to try and help. But Neraid asks, do you think this will actually work? And Schmidt says, well, it doesn't always work, as someone steps on Geo's hand, trying to ignore her. But in that instance, the authorities show up as somebody says that Geo was wearing her stolen clothes, as Geo didn't even realize that the clothes that she has were stolen. Obviously, this was Schmidt's idea, so yeah, he probably stole those clothes for Geo to put on a disguise for this whole scheme. But Schmidt then ends up saying, alrighty, since it's come to this, he then punches Neraid in the gut, carrying him over his shoulder, saying, okay, out of the way, people, out of the way, this man is about to vomit, let's make our way through, let's not let anything happen. And instantly a path opens up to the train. Honestly, if you want a good way to get through a huge crowd, just say, look, this man is about to projectile vomit all over the place. We need room. We gotta get to it. We gotta go fast before things get ugly. Honestly, probably should have led with that. But then again, it would involve actually punching Neraid in the gut to sell things. But they all managed to make it on the train. And Neraid ends up asking the same thing. Why'd you have to hit me in the gut for real? As Schmidt just says, look, authenticity is crucial. Geo says she had no idea steam engines were this vast, and the scenery is just streaming by. She has a sentimental look on her face as she says, it really feels like I'm on a journey now. Honestly, on a lot of journey series and a lot of adventure series, you'll have a vehicle that's your home base, or you'll just constantly be traveling on different vehicles. So being on a train, which is something that a lot of series tend to do when you're going cross country, it is a nice feeling. It is a nice addition, and I kind of really enjoy Geo enjoying her adventure again after the chaos that literally just occurred. And she's reminiscing and feeling very happy with her decisions right now as Geo and Schmidt are arguing in the background. Now Neraid asks Geo about the paper she has, which is the tickets. As he asks her, is it alright that we didn't show it to anybody? But Gio, getting pretty confident over her own knowledge from books and everything, says, "Don't worry, it's fine. Somebody will come by and punch our cards to check us in later. I read about it in a book." Schmidt says, "A ticket punch? That really wouldn't make this feel like a trip, huh?" "I've never seen one though." Gio asks him, "Really? Why not?" As Schmidt just says, "Well, since I can change my form, I just pretend to be a child or an old person and use most services for free." As Gio was just like, "You're going to pay for this someday." Honestly, if I had the ability to transform or alter my appearance like Schmidt, I would probably use it to basically circumvent fares. Look, it's not the most morally righteous thing to do, but come on. Anybody would do the exact same thing to save money and to just get through these types of situations a lot quicker. But it's then that neraid asks the important question, "What about your tail, Schmidt?" As Schmidt says, "Oh yeah, I'm using my ability to keep others from perceiving it. It's cramped in here, so it kind of stands out." And so we get this black and white, more monochrome-esque x-ray of the train car showing Schmidt and the big white line being his tail, showcasing just how large his tail actually is. And Gio says, "Wow, you can even do that. You can hide your tail? So you're the same as neraid, huh?" But Schmidt says, "No. This is just a clever application of my ability. For neraid, it's something even more special. You may be dragonfolk, but you can become human." And that's where we end the chapter. So, great world building moments, great character interaction and comedic moments, and putting things off with neraid being even more suspicious, because now we hear that neraid, when he puts away his tail, he just becomes human, or at least appears to be human, which makes this even more mysterious as to what he can and cannot be. Honestly, it'd be really cool if it was a dragon folk / human hybrid. They could just swap between the two in terms of appearance, in a sense. But still, that is incredibly interesting to really think about and dive into. The mystery of neraid continues to be even more just deeper than we initially thought. And outside of that, the world building that we got in this chapter about the regions, about how it's named after the Zodiac, and the fact that they're going to the town where Yuri Holst used to live, already really big stuff happening instantly, and we might get some leads on Yuri Holst potentially, or come face to face with some enemies. And also, Schmidt's with us. I'm glad I was right that he showed up, and he's a part of the group for the time being, and he seems to be giving us some really important pieces of information, which is something that Gio and neraid desperately needed as somebody to come along on their journey with them. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to see this new trio's whole dynamic going forward, and this series just keeps becoming even more enjoyable and fun as things progress further. But what did you guys think of this chapter? I know it was a short one, but we had a good amount in this chapter as well. Leave your thoughts, opinions, and theories in the comments section down below. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and shows you want to see more. And with all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.